Hi there. So I'm going to just talk about the prison ministry and what we get up to there. So every Thursday we're going out to prisons, and we are meeting with offenders at a Zonderwater facility at the moment. Our whole goal is to be able to expand the ministry to other prisons within Gauteng region. The format in which we're doing it is we'll meet here at the church and head out to the prison and spend an hour or two with the guys. We present the Alpha course, which is a lovely structured format in which we can then meet the guys at their point of need. The lovely thing about Alpha is that it covers the entire basics of Christianity without skipping any gaps. So there's no holes in anybody's theology and that kind of stuff when we get to deal with them. This past season we've had, I think it was 17 conversions, which was fantastic. I'm really excited about that. One of the amazing stories that came out was we got there and there was this big guy. I don't know if you've seen the Green Mile, but he was big. He was that big, and he kind of walked up to me, and he was very intimidating. And I was just chatting, and I was talking to them about the things we're going to be speaking about and where we're going to go in this thing. And one of the things I touched on was healing. And he stopped me and he said, so I've got this really sore back and I've been in pain for many months now. Could you pray for me? And I was like, sure. And I pulled him up and I prayed for him and asked him, so is it okay? And he went, yes. And I went, what do you mean yes? He says, well, there was this glowing, warm feeling, but the pain's gone. And I said, well, go and get it checked out at the nurse and let me know next week if it's still gone, because I'm not the kind of guy who believes in these healings that come and go. They've got to be healing, otherwise it's not a healing. so then he came back the next week, and he was like, it's seriously gone. I'm being totally healed. I've had this back problem for many years from sleeping in these conditions in the prisons, and I've been healed. And it wasn't a couple of sessions later that he actually came to the Lord, gave his life to the Lord, and has been with us. Well, he ended our last session, was it 2 sessions ago now, he finished. And every time he sees me, he still walks up to me and gives me a big hug, and he's like, hey, Pastor Leon, thank you for healing me. And I'm like, yes, it wasn't me, it was God. God does everything, The next story is that whenever we go there, the guys, when they greet us, they're just full of life and full of light. And I've never ever asked anybody what their crime is, because I believe that God's taken us all from a was to an is, and so I'm focusing on the is. And this last session, my whole focus has been on 2 Corinthians 5:17, which says, "Those who are in Christ are a new creation. The old is gone. Behold, all things have become new." And it's quite interesting to know where that word behold is. It doesn't say those who are in Christ are a new creation, behold, all things have passed and all things have become new. That behold becomes just before all things new. And so what we do is we focus on all things new, and we're teaching them, forget about your past, push on to the future. Behold, all things are new. And we are constantly growing them and teaching them this. And the other day, one of the guys came up to me, he said, Leon, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm like, it's a pleasure. I mean, we're here anytime. And he says, no, you don't understand. Your presence makes us feel human. And that to me was a real gut punch, because I realized that these guys are just a number. They just been thrown into a cell with a whole bunch of other numbers, and they lose their humanity. They get told when to wake up, when to eat, when to go to bed, what to do, how to do it. It's quite an intimidating lifestyle, if you want to call it that, or circumstance to find yourself in. And then to be able to just touch somebody from the outside every now and again and say, hey, I'm human, I'm here, and I'm loved, I'm appreciated, and I'm remembered. We've got to remember that Paul wrote most of his letters, his epistles, from prison. So, the guy knows prison. And so most of the Bible is about prisoners and being enslaved. I am no longer a slave to sin. I am no longer a prisoner. I've been set free. I mean, the language is there all the time. So God's heart is for the prisoner. And that's my heart as well. I mean, if you've seen my previous testimony about how I had a day of experiencing that, I was incarcerated, and was sitting there watching everybody and realizing that these people, every single one of them, no matter what they've done, all need Jesus. I mean, we've all achieved Jesus. And I can tell you right now that I've seen the love of these guys. The Bible doesn't lie when it says, for those who have been forgiven much, they love much. And these guys love much. Once they realize their forgiveness, once they've stepped into that new life that Jesus has given them, it's a whole new person that we're dealing with. And so, back to the beginning, why I don't ask them about their past, because that's not my problem, that's God's problem. He needs to deal with that. I love the fact that we've got guys who are joining us, people like Hepzibah, people like Ruby, who are absolutely stalwarts in this ministry. They are the pillars of what we do. If it wasn't for people who volunteer and join us on a regular basis, I mean, it just becomes almost impossible, because the field is ripe unto harvest, and the harvesters are few. I'm going to say that again. Because the field is ripe unto harvest and the harvesters are so few. And those that do step up, I really, really appreciate it. I mean, we all do, especially those guys in prison.